Oh, a lot of things are done in the name of public safety. Think of all the things they were done to us and got us to do during the pandemic in the name of safety, you see. It wasn't in the name of their power. It was about keeping you safe. That word safety has been used for centuries. I don't know if you recall from your history classes, but the Committee of Public Safety was the name of the communist revolutionaries in France that chopped off a few heads by guillotine. And of course, these days, the internet has to be kept safe from online harms. In Australia, they actually call their censor the e-safety commissioner. That word safety, it's quite something. And I say all that because this case out of Vancouver, it's a doozy. Let me read a little bit from a press release from our friends at the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. Court to decide if public universities must uphold freedom of expression and be liable for charter infringement. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but let me just read a little bit of what is at stake, what caused this court case. In 2019, the University of British Columbia canceled an Understanding Antifa Violence event hosted by the student-run Free Speech Club, get this, citing concerns about the emotional and psychological safety and security of the campus community. They weren't worried about the actual safety of Antifa committing violence. It was the emotional and psychological safety, and so the government had to come in and protect people by censoring the events. The things you can do if you promise safety. Joining us now via Skype from Calgary is the lawyer for the Justice Center who is battling the University of British Columbia, and we'll get him to explain the details. Glenn Blackett joins us now. Glenn, great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too. Thank you.
Boy, the things they do in the name of safety. So I want to ask about the lawsuit in a moment, but first just help me make sure I get all the facts. So what was this event? So I guess this is 6 years ago, before COVID. Some students at UBC wanted to have an event describing the violence of the left. That seems to be completely appropriate for a university inquiry. It feels like the university was actually siding with Antifa.
Yeah, I would say that. To back up a little bit, in the months prior to that cancellation, that same club, those same students had hosted a couple of events, which were provocative events or somewhat provocative events. And some student groups had shown up, one calling itself the Students Against Bigotry, and then also Antifa had showed up. And there was a lot of, protest verging on or tripping over into violence, banging on doors, pulling fire alarms, blocking entrances, that kind of stuff. So they were really making, a show of themselves. The university chose not to sanction any of the students that were involved in that. And so the event that was eventually canceled was a very relevant and timely one because it was the same group that had invited journalist Andy Ngo from the US to come and talk on the subject of Antifa violence. So it was quite ironic that then that talk had to be canceled so that the problem of Antifa violence couldn't be better understood because Antifa violence was actually leading to this cancellation.
That's incredible. And I forgot that Andy Ngo was involved. He, just for our viewers, is an outstanding journalist. He was based in Portland before. In fact, he was he was almost killed. I actually attended a trial in Portland where he sued Antifa for basically gang violence against him. It was actually, even the trial itself was shocking. The Antifa activists in the court were clearly threatening the jury. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. Wow, I forgot about that connection. So it's in Portland, if I may just detour for a second, one of the grossest things was how police have basically been ordered to let Antifa rule the streets. It's almost like they're a street team of the far left political authority. It really is shades of 1930s Germany when the brown shirts ran around beating people up with the nod and the wink of the Nazis who hadn't gone full Holocaust yet. In Portland, the government wink, and same in other big cities, and I would say it's the same in Montreal. Antifa gets a special pass. I'm sort of shocked to hear that was done by the University of British Columbia, though. Tell me what they said. Where did these words safety, emotional and psychological safety, was that actually said by UBC? Was that in some document? Because that's an astonishing thing to say.
Yeah, it is an astonishing thing to say. Now, they did also cite physical safety concerns, but they also cited emotional concerns, including people's sense of belonging in the community. And
how about Andy No's sense of belonging and his ability to attend an event without getting beat up?
Right. I mean, and this is the nature of inclusivity, right? We include those who are ideologically compliant. Yeah, I mean, it was fascinating. They put that right in a letter. They also, I think an interesting bit of background is that when the event was booked, the group went through the same rigmarole that they had typically gone through. The university had the same, information that they had ahead of the other events in order to plan accordingly, et cetera. What happened was an organization, which is a labor congress called the Vancouver District Labor Congress, caught wind of the fact that this was happening. And they sent a letter to the president or the president of the university, Santa Ono. And in the letter, they accused Andy No of being a far-right provocateur, which is kind of hilarious. I think that Andy No is actually more a child of the left, or what the left used to be. And not a provocateur, he's a journalist. They find that provocative, I suppose. Anyway, in the letter, the Vancouver Labor Congress requested or demanded that the university cancel the free speech event for the very purpose of censoring Andy No so that he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And the president took that letter, turned around moments later, and sent it off to the VP of students and asked one question: who approved this event?
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
Not, is this safe? So, it's hard to characterize that as anything but a political choice. And then sure enough, a few days later, the university decided to cancel that event, including after they looked at the Students Against Bigotry social media feed, where there were demands that it not go ahead, and statements to the effect of, we must not allow this to proceed. And so once the university saw that, they understood the kind of safety concerns that they had to deal with, and they expeditiously canceled the event.